All right. Did the screen come back on y'all's end?
Yes.
Good deal. All right. So tonight we're going to be doing our peer review, giving a little feedback. And Danny, it looks like you're up first as our first victim here.
Okay.
You were the first one we grabbed on the list. I'll just go through and say from my review, I learned so much about elementary school just from reading your first two tasks. So many of the things that I hear or read in IEPs from my sixth graders coming up from elementary school, I have such a better understanding of now. Like I mentioned to you, I didn't know what M-Class was.
Mm-hmm.
And you put a great explanation of that in task 2. Your description of your data is really strong. It's clear your PLC is using that data and focused on student need. Data-driven decision-making, you guys did a great job, including the picture with task 1 as an artifact. That was awesome. Your group was really engaged. You could tell that they were really involved and buying into what you were doing. And from task 1 and task 2 put together, everything was super organized. It flowed really well. It was easy to read. Not a whole lot of polishing really you could have done. And honestly, I can't wait to see what solution you're going to propose in task 3, because I'm in at this point. I want to know. That the suspense has really built on me, so I want to know what's coming up. Jenny, do you want to add anything to that for Danny?
Actually, Danny and I work at the same school, so I'm very excited to see what happens with this, because these are our babies. So I really think that the work that's being done here is very important, and this just gives her an avenue to get that work done. Yeah. So I thought her writing was very good. The being able to follow that PLC through is so important. Everything looks good.
I appreciate you guys' feedback very much, because one of the things that I struggle with the most is the APA formatting, and I'm going back and looking at the videos and looking at the syllabus with the examples, trying to make sure I get it right, and I never know if it's right or not. I even have the book that I used to get my master's, the APA formatting book that they even mentioned that you should use, but I still am never 100% sure. So when you guys go in and make those, give me those suggestions, I really, really appreciate that. And Jenny actually gave me a suggestion, because I had forgotten to put a picture of my PLC in the task 2, because I do have some pictures from that, and cited my M-Class website. So I'm going to go back and make those revisions when we finish here. So I just thank you very much. Very good feedback. I appreciate every bit of it.
Excellent. Good job. So let me pull up another peer review here. Libra, are you feeling like you're ready?
I think I'm ready.
To be next?
Yes, let's go.
I'm pulling it up right now. I'll be, hopefully. There we go. All right. And I'll click share and maybe it'll work. We're getting faster at this. This is good. Yeah. All right. Can you see a peer review? Oh,
yes.
Good job. So Libra, you are at a gigantic school.
Very. We're the largest one in Gifford County schools. So yeah.
when I was reading your school profile, I went, ooh, that is something. I am also a middle school girl. My middle school has 550 kids in it.
Oh, wow.
So I have a little bitty baby middle school compared to what you're working with.
Yeah.
Jumping in here, again, very clearly, you demonstrate your ability to lead a PLC data-driven discussion with research-based decision-making, and the reasoning process that you use to establish your need is very clear. The discussion you described about whether to go with 6th grade or 8th grade was the same dialogue I was having in my head.
Yeah, we went back and forth.
6th grade, they're going to be there the longest. But
That's what I was saying.
8th grade has the most pressing need upon them. They're the ones that, that are about to leave us, and we got to take care of them. And 6th grade, we could always take care of next year. So the discussion you described was the exact same argument that went on in my head. So it was
interesting. Very interesting meeting.
I can imagine. I was really excited to see that described there. Your writing has a really good professional tone the entire time you write. What else have I got here? Do I have anything else? I think the only feedback I had was maybe on your data collection strategy section. That's a multi-page paragraph.
Okay. Just
for reader ease, you might want to break that up into a couple or 3 paragraphs, because I could see it broken into 3 ideas without even adding any additional information, really. It could just reader ease. The material is excellent. The discussion is excellent. It was just a really great thing. And again, just like with Danny, I'm hooked in now. I want to know, what is this solution going to be? What's part 2? So
you have to wait and see.
It's a to be continued kind of story. Jenny, do you have anything you want to add into that?
Yeah, as someone who has taught a tested grade but is at a pre-K through 2 school now, I really, really liked your explanation of the difference between student achievement and student growth. Because if you don't deal with EOGs, then you don't really understand that difference very much. So that's really good information for the reader. Everything else that you put in there was very well written, very explicit. Didn't really have a whole lot of suggestions other than just a couple of little, rewordings or, grammar, spelling, that kind of thing. Your leading of PLC was very good. I'm excited to find out what happens.
Well, thank you. I agree with Danny, the APA, because it's been such a long time since I've been in school. That's probably where I struggle too. So I do, and I have the little book too. And but the Purdue OWL is very good. I'm finding it very helpful. So
yeah, that was my favorite thing. That's what got me through my dissertation was Purdue OWL.
And did you guys know that if you look up something on the library here on the Gardner Webb website, that you can hit cite at the top of whatever book you're looking at, and it'll actually put it in APA for you?
No.
Yes, I found it.
Explain that one more time.
If you look up like an ebook on the library part of the Blackboard, and at the top there are like a couple of different things that you can click. One of them is cite, and it'll give you different kinds of citations. Okay. And APA is one of them. You just copy and paste it. I found that today.
Thank you.
That's an excellent tip. All right. Who can I pull up next? Or do I need to pull up another one?
Gotta do you and Jenny.
I know. We'll see who's next on the list here. Session. And well, I come up first. So yay, here we go. Okay, the peer review I am pulling up is from Libra. So it should be appearing in just a second. Did we get it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, this is for you, Heather. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you did an excellent job. I really enjoyed reading it. I feel like your strongest point or part would be your graphs and the visuals. You did an awesome job.
Oh,
I was very impressed. And again, I just would love, I can't wait to see the task 3 and the action plan in task 4. So I'm looking very forward to it. So you did, no weaknesses. I think you did a wonderful job.
I think what I like the best about your absolute task 2, it was almost, you know how you're looking forward to what we're going to do next. Well, while I was reading, I was like in suspense about what the question is going to be, because you never reveal what it is until you get to that section. So each time you're writing, you're like, and then we're gonna da-da-da-da-da-da. And you never say what it's gonna be, even though you know as you're typing it. So it was really good the way you described how you went through the process of collecting the data, analyzing the data with your peers, and then they combed through the data and was able to come to the idea of what the pressing need was. And even at that point, you didn't tell us what it was going to be until you got to that section. So I thought that was really a really good way to write it. And I thought that the only suggestion I had was I wanted to know a little bit more about that group of students that were your that you chose for your of your need. So your students with disabilities group, who does that group consist of? Like who's in that group? How many girls? How many boys? What grade levels were, represented with that group? And I think that would be the only thing I would add to that. The other thing, everything was well written. It was very professionally done, and I was really impressed with your work. Good job.
Thanks. And in doing that, in the discussion and the threshing out of all the data, I was really surprised that the ESL teacher who is in my PLC was so open to the data when the data showed that our students with disabilities group has a bigger need than her ESL or minority group. She just immediately was perfectly fine with saying, yes, there's the data. I'm not going to fight it. But at the same time, our unwritten agreement that's not in the paper is that her students will be able to benefit from our solution as much as our students with disabilities will. So that was part of the thing there. But I was really surprised that she was so willing to accept the data, knowing what an advocate she is for our minority and ESL kids.
Yeah, but the data is what it is. And sometimes you have to take it with what it is. I mean, you can't dispute what's written right there in your, what you see.
Right. That's a good point.
And I guess that's why we're having to do this, to teach us that that's what we're going to have to do in the future.
Yeah, it's much easier to get your point across when you have something that no one can argue with, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Back up.
All right, if we're all good, I will pull up one from Jenny. And we will move on from there. It'll be the last one. All right, hopefully in just a second it will appear. All right, you should be able to see a feedback.
Okay. Jenny, I felt like you did a good job as well. You had very good knowledge of the assigned tasks, very well written. Your graphs were presented well too. So I like the fact that how you did that. I felt like you did an excellent job leading your PLC, and can't wait to see how it unfolds. So. And I said very well organized. So I think you did an excellent job too.
Jenny, as a member of your PLC, I'm in there with you as you're doing all this, but I thought that you did a really awesome job of writing up everything that happened during our PLC, because and leading our PLC, because one of the things that kind of happened is at the end of our meeting, we were talking about our most pressing need, and the team is like, okay, well, we could use this, and we could use this, and we could use this. And Jenny was like, well, we're going to talk about all of those things later. Let's go back and do some research before we come to an agreement about what we're going to do about the problem, because we kind of got a little ahead of ourselves and wanted to go ahead and say what we wanted to do to solve the problem. We can use vocabulary, we can use this, and everybody had all kinds of ideas about things to do. But in order to make the best decision about what to do, and plus in our next task, we'll have to go through and look at different programs or things to use. And during the meeting, she was able to get us to scale back and go back and think about, other solutions that we could use, and kept us all still a part of the PLC and decision making, but because I know what's coming next, the knowledge that she's going to have to do some research too to find out what we're going to do to solve the problem. And she wrote that up in her paper where she was talking about how everybody was very gung-ho, I thought that was really good. Also, I really liked the part that you wrote about how you started at the district level, and so you looked at what was happening at the district level need for vocabulary intervention, all the way down to at our primary grade level of vocabulary. So sorry about that. So you did an amazing job. Very good.
Thank you. And that's one of the reasons why I chose the people that I chose for my PLC, because I knew that they would be gung-ho, and you look for those kind of people, when you're jumping into something like this. So I'm very excited to work with them.
It does make a difference.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
I'm just glad I'm not the only one that has to hold the PLC back a little bit, because they're ready to conquer the world, and I've got to do a literature review first.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, I say this was an excellent start. We've all got really strong starts to what we're doing, and pretty interested in what each other is doing in our papers now. So I really look forward to what's going to appear in task 3 in our follow-up. And if we are all good, I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay.
Right.